Well, hello again, and thanks for joining me. This is going to be a slightly different video because this is not one about me making something, it's about me learning something. And precisely learning to MIG weld, or at least to get much better at it, because I can do it, but I'm rubbish. And I saw an advert on Facebook for a guy who offered 4 hours of welding lessons for 80 quid, which I think is amazing. And it's one-on-one tuition. And I came to do this, I came to do a TIG lesson, and I absolutely loved it. So one of the reasons I wanted to film here is not just so that you can watch me MIG weld, but also because I think that Bob's idea here is a brilliant one. He's going to explain it, and I think it could be a lot of use to a lot of you out there. Anyway, please remember, if you enjoy this, click on that subscribe button, the bell next to it if you'd like to be alerted to my new videos, and also what matters a lot to me, if you can, is click the like button. Thank you so much. So here we are, we're in the machine shop, and this is Bob, I told you about. This is the guy who not only is going to teach me to MIG weld, good luck, but also started this fantastic thing which I want him to tell you about. So how did all this come into your head?
The idea came a few years ago when I was trying to restore a motorbike. I was restoring an old Honda Hornet 600. And I was doing a few bits to it, and of course tuning the engine, but the problem I was having was I couldn't get anybody to sandblast the frame for me for a reasonable price. I was living in the west of Ireland, and the closest guy to do it was an hour away, so I'd have to drive the frame an hour, leave it with him for a week and then go and collect it. So 4 hours of driving, and it was a lot of money, a lot of expense and hardship. So I was thinking I'll buy my own sandblaster, and that's a lot of money. I didn't really have the money when I was 21. So I was kind of thinking, will I get a loan and I'll buy a sandblaster, I'll put it in the local petrol station and put a coin meter on it. And I'll get my money. That's how it came up.
Really?
Yeah. And I'll put a coin meter on it, then anybody can use it, and it'll be a bit of passive income to afford more beer. And so I was my priorities weren't in the right place, I'll say, at that time in my life. Too interested in girls and drinking and bikes. So it kind of went on the back burner for a while. I started building race bikes, moved to England to work for Norton, built a few TD bikes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was making the tanks and the frames for them. Started managing their workshop. I left there last summer and to start this place. So this is like a bigger version of that sandblaster. The whole idea was
I didn't see the coin machine anywhere.
There's no coin machine, it's all direct debit now. It's all 2021, isn't it? So it's just like that, but it's a bigger sandblaster effectively. People can come and use my machinery for a very, very small price. So if they've got the skills and they've got the know-how, but they don't have the equipment, this is a place for them.
And how do you gauge that? How are you comfortable that somebody says, oh, I want to use your Ajax milling machine?
Yeah. How
do you gauge whether they've got the ability?
Okay, so if you come in and you say, I want to use this, I want to use that, I'll say, yeah, no problem. We're going to go through the safety induction anyway. Yeah. I can't teach you a 4-year apprenticeship in 20 minutes, but I can teach you how not to get your hand cut off by a machine. Right. I'll say, don't stick your hand there, don't stick your hand there. I say, don't put your finger where you wouldn't put your pecker.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So it's that. And then I'll stick with you for 20-25 minutes, and I'll kind of gauge on that. And if I think that you're safe in using the machine responsibly, I'll say, fair enough. I'll leave you, but I always keep an eye on everybody here. I can manage about 10 to 15 people in here at a time. Just by walking around, keeping an eye on everybody, making sure that they're using their machines responsibly. And that's how. But if you're using the machine, you're being a little bit rough with it, or I think you're a bit of a danger to yourself or others around you, you just get thrown out.
You get thrown out
straight away.
And if I'm correct, you operate this like a gym membership. Is that right? Like different. I think that's really clever. So how does that work?
Well, the idea of the gym is if you want to get fit or get big, your options are buy all the equipment and shove it in your spare room. Yeah. So some people don't have a spare room to put it in, or might not be able to afford the equipment, so they join up with a gym, and they pay a small monthly membership to use their equipment in their space for a maximum of maybe 10 hours a week.
But you have different tiers, don't you?
Yeah, we have different tiers just because some people might not want to use a milling machine or a spray booth. They might just want to service their bike or clean their bike. It starts off at £30 a month for our most basic membership. So if you're into your bike, so you can pay £30 a month, and it gives you a nice, dry, warm space to work. You get a bike ramp, you get toolkits, you can use anything that doesn't use a consumable and isn't a danger to yourself or those around you.
Right.
For £30 a month.
Yeah.
We've got a middle, so it's like a
gold, silver.
Yeah, so we do a basic, intermediate, and advanced
Okay.
memberships. And the basic is one I just told you about. The intermediate is stuff like the bandsaw and MIG welder. That's £50 a month, and then the advanced is when you use all the hardcore engineering machinery like the mills and the lathes.
Which we'll go and have a look at in a minute.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and people can come as often as they want if they pay that membership?
Yeah, as much as you like, yeah. So our hours are based around the normal working person, so they work 9 to 5 during the day, and they work in their hobbies or their interests in the evening. So we open from 4 p.m. till 11 p.m. on Monday to Thursday. On Friday we open from 12 until 11 p.m. because a lot of people finish work early on a Friday.
Right, cool.
And then Saturdays and Sundays it's 9 a.m. till 11 p.m.
You're working 7 days a week?
Yeah, and extra because Monday through Thursday a lot of the people are here earlier, like today.
For welding lessons and stuff?
Exactly. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Bob, I thought you could give us a quick run of the machines that people can use, especially the sort of gold membership, the advanced one.
Yeah.
So come on, introduce, and what do people do with it?
This is a basic hydraulic press. We can go up to 28 tons with it. So if you wanted to push like bearings or bushes or calipers or something like that, you can put it in here. So we've got all the dies at the back.
Okay, cool.
So it saves you having to like put sockets and destroy your good tools or our good tools. And so if you're, I don't know what you'd be doing if you wanted to do a wheel bearing on a motorbike or I'm not sure what you do. You just put it in here and it applies up to 28 tons of pressure on that point.
Well, you could probably do some other fun things with it too when you just want to push stuff into something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of a multi-purpose machine, isn't it? Because it's a roller, a guillotine, and does it bend as well?
And a folder, yeah.
Oh,
So you can
cool.
fold in here. It's a very basic piece of equipment. They come a lot more complicated than this, but I didn't want any complicated machinery in here. I want you to be able to walk up to it and say, I know how to use this.
Yeah.
Nice and simple. There's a handle here, and you roll it. You can see it has action. Got guillotine down there, benders there, and rollers there. We've got a lot of people making exhausts on these exhaust cans here. Yeah.
So because you can roll the steel
going on it,
Is it steel or aluminium usually?
Whatever you like. Usually on a car or a fancy motorbike there might be titanium. On the normal cans that you buy, like the aftermarket cans, are usually have aluminium skin on the outside.
Okay, cool. Nice, very useful though.
Yeah.
Now we're coming to the three machines that I'm most jealous of. First of all, this one.
Yep.
Beautiful Startright bandsaw, metal steel bandsaw. Do people use this a lot?
Yeah, it's probably one of the most used tools in here.
Yeah.
I use it for everything. It's always handy. It's always there. And,
it's good for cutting your sandwiches too.
It's good for cutting fingers off.
Yeah.
This is, we rate the machines by fingers.
Oh yeah.
So this is
a four finger.
No, this is a 3 finger.
A 3 finger.
Yeah, that's the hand and that's an elbow.
Oh, fine. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in great nick as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in perfect nick. It was I found it in a wood saw mill place. They were making kids furniture and out of wood, and that's all it was ever used for. So when I got it, I had to clean all the MDF out of it and put a steel
It was only used on wood?
Only ever used for wood and for cutting like 18mm ply.
And fingers?
And fingers, yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Here we're coming.
So this one, Bob, this is a beauty.
Yeah.
Real old school, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
it's solid bit of kit. It's all proper cast, machine cast.
Yeah, it's stunning.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning. And so you could take a bigger truck than that, couldn't it?
Yeah, we've got bigger trucks.
Oh, you got bigger trucks?
We've got over.
Yeah.
You can see that. We've got other trucks and bits.
Oh yeah, cool. And so people using that to make sort of arbors and.
We got a lot of wheel spacers made.
Yeah,
loads of wheel spacers. Lads are mad for making wheel spacers.
Really?
Yeah, just wheel spacers for this, wheel spacers for that. Just lots and lots of wheel spacers. You got other things I've made, like just bits and pieces, saving wherever I need. When I'm doing a purged argon exhaust system, where we put argon down the centre of the exhaust and weld it from inside and out. I just make some aluminium plugs to go on the end of it and just to capture the argon inside. So instead of having to buy a kit for 100 quid or something, I just turn some up on some.
Never even heard about that, argon welding.
Yeah, it's back purge welding.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool process.
But exhaust.
Yeah, for exhaust. So when you're welding an exhaust, you weld it from the outside, obviously,
Yeah.
and then your penetration gets all furry and shitty on the inside. You put argon in the middle of it, so it will look like it's welded from the inside to make that seam.
Oh, cool. Very nice.
Yeah, so
I
we
love
do bits
it.
and pieces like that all the time.
This is a screw cutting made too, right? So you
Yeah,
can cut
yeah.
threads and
Doesn't hold up. We've got a DRL. I don't have it plugged in at the moment. And one of our members worked in the factory that this was made roughly around the time that he was serving his apprenticeship.
no.
And he's taking serial numbers off and he's going to try and work out if he actually worked on this machine.
Really? Oh, that's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, it's really
That's
cool.
really cool.
Yeah, it's great when there's a story behind old machines like this.
I love it.
Yeah.
They're so beautifully made.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah.
So Bob, this is the baby that I'm most jealous of.
Yeah.
I love a nice milling machine. Mate.
Yeah.
Last time we met and I told you how much I covered the Bridgeport, you told me, and this is going to get comments for sure,
Yeah.
but the Bridgeports are a pain in the arse compared to these.
Yeah, so if you've ever worked with a milling machine, it's fine if you've only ever worked on a Bridgeport, you're used to them. They're very, very hard to get in metric, because I don't understand imperial at all. And
No,
I
do
want
I.
to,
It's weird.
just don't get it, don't want to know anything about it.
But it's great for some people.
Yes. And also the collets that the Bridgeport takes is called borate, and they tend to spin if you're doing some heavy work. Whereas these have, you can't really see this sphere?
Yeah.
It's a key. It's got key on both sides.
Oh wow,
So
okay.
it cannot turn, even though I've got a Morse taper in there, but the actual collet pull
It's locked.
is locked in position
Okay.
all the time. Yeah. And you get a lot more bang for your buck if you don't buy a Bridgeport. Everybody wants to buy a Bridgeport.
So the price is
Huge, yeah. It's just a fashion.
And I mean, this is incredible. You've got full DRO on it.
Yeah, it's all set up. The bedways are hardly ever used. Came from a college, and just kind of sat there for most of his life being taken care of.
And so the whole head turns as well.
Oh, everything turns. So it'll tilt that way.
Oh yeah.
And pitch that way.
No.
Yeah. See the pitch screw?
Oh my god, yeah.
And then it spins on. See this flange here?
Yeah.
Yeah, it spins on that. So
That way, and the whole thing moves that way.
Yeah, and goes in and out.
And it's a knee.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Stunning. Absolutely amazing. And bringing it in here must have been dawdle, or a shopping trolley, or a...
It wasn't actually too bad. We had this royal character drop it off, and he had a truck, and he was one of those proper old boys that you don't get anymore. And he arrived in his wax jacket and a pair of steamed up glasses. He got out. He was a lovely fella, and put it down on the ground, and he nearly brought the whole thing in himself. And he must have been near 70. But he'd been doing this all his life. That was
Machine mover.
Machine mover.
Very specialised job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, you need to handle that. He said, oh no, I'm fine, no. And of course, if you tried to help him, you'd just kind of throw the machine off balance. But he's feeling everything all the time. Put some steel bars down on the ground.
He did it with he rolled those
steel bars, yeah, just like 1 inch gun barrel pipe, and he had like a lever bar, which was made out like a steel stake or something, and it just looked old. And of course, it was all worn where he'd been levering it with his own hands. He must have had this about 50 years.
Yeah.
But just lever it up one side, kick the bars under it, and just push it across the floor. And he was like, "Right, do you want to spin it?" And I was like, yeah, spin it. I didn't even go near it.
By himself?
By himself, yeah. And I have 4 or 5 lads here to help, and they're all just stood there watching this old man just kind of kick this machine across the ground. Effortless, absolutely effortless. It was amazing watching.
It's hello, Roo. Yeah, they're amazing. I mean, I always think machine movers are worth their weight in gold because they've been doing it, as you say, for years. There are very few coming into the business.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And you watch them work. It's absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
All the bits and pieces.
Yeah, we've got DROs, all the different collets and chucks that you want. We've got.
Did that come with the machine? Did you
No.
you had to buy that separately?
Yeah, we've got over 300 pieces of tooling between the mill and the lathe.
Wow.
Loads and loads and loads of stuff. And if we don't have something, we'll buy it.
Okay.
And it doesn't cost you any extra, because if you want something
part of
and
the
I think
service.
other people are going to use it as well, I'll just buy it.
Fantastic. That's really cool.
Yeah, this is the area where we build up the bikes, so customers can come use the bike ramps, there's the socket sets, it's all the tools around them, everything they need to get everything done. This is a race bike that one of our customers is building, so when they come in they can put their bikes up on the ramps. We've got toolboxes, we've got parts washers, sandblasters, mills, lathes, all the equipment that we've seen already, and they can work on it here. So the modifications done to this bike, it was a standard SB650 Suzuki.
So the guy brought in a standard road bike?
Reasonably standard, yeah. A few bits and pieces here, but took the fairings off, put racing fairings on, so all the bracketry had to be made for that, drill the holes in the right place, fix it on there good and safe. Obviously you don't want it coming off.
No.
The whole front end is off GSX-R 1000, so it's got 6-pot calipers on the front, and it's like throwing an anchor off the bike, it really slaps.
I don't think I want to throw an anchor off mine.
No, it does stop. It's an absolute weapon. They're a great bike for the size. And usually on the track days when novices go out for track days, these are always the fastest boys around.
Oh really?
Yeah, because they're just easy to manage. So we've got modifications like we've got race tires on, we've got slicks, we've got upgraded rear shock, we've got rear sets. So what they do is, as standard, they're not adjustable, so these ones you can see the little holes.
You
up
can
and down, back, forward,
Yeah.
wherever you like. You can adjust these up and down to suit your feet. What else is into it? So it's kind of racing around a little bit more aerodynamic, cheaper to fix when you crash it. And these are fantastic bikes.
Fiddle with the exhaust, that looks like
it's an aftermarket exhaust.
Yeah.
It's a bit louder, and it'll probably give you a few horses.
Yeah.
And soon this is going in for spray. Once he's kind of got everything finished and everything in place, he'll take it all off, bring it to our spray booth, spray the lot.
Oh, you've got a spray booth and everything.
Yeah,
cool.
We can do a spray booth. We can do any 2K paint. We can do Cerakote, and we can do powder coat as well.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So what part of this is he going to paint?
So he paints the fairings, the tank, and the front fairing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Can you think of anything else?
What are these made of?
They look like some sort of an ABS plastic.
Yeah, so that would be sprayed, right?
Yeah, we spray that, yeah. So you put a plastic primer on first because the 2K tends to soften the plastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the tank you can powder coat?
Or you would spray that as well.
Okay.
We just rough over with some Scotch Brite and then spray that.
Okay, cool.
Things that you can powder coat, you need to bring them back to bare metal, because you negatively charge the part, and then the plastic particles stick to that. And as soon as it's thick enough, it doesn't adhere to it anymore because it's insulated.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so you can't get any runs in powder coat. Very clever.
Yeah. And then you bake it.
And then you bake it at 200 degrees for, I think, 20 minutes.
And you've got an oven here and everything.
We've got an oven here, and it does it all automatically. So it's quite nice, simple, easy process where we hang up the parts, we spray them, and then it just slides sideways into an oven, close the door, press the timer, it turns on for 20 minutes.
Is it good for self-tanning?
I don't know, I think your priority's in the wrong place. This is the start of an enduro bike project. It's a frame off a gas, 250, two-stroke, absolute weapon, I think. So the customer is going to sandblast all this, take all the old powder coat off, and then he's picked this really vibrant shade of red. Garish shade of red. Yeah. And he's lots of red features on the bike. Not to my taste, but it's good. It's good. And so he's going to clean it all back. We're going to put weld some bosses in the back, so we can put a bash plate here.
Okay.
So if you're hopping up on trees or falling down a mountain, it kind of protects the sump of the engine. So he's going to strip all this back in the sandblaster, do a bit of welding on it, and then put it in powder coat and start rebuilding the bike up again.
So again, with a thing like that, the guy comes in, you don't do any of it?
No, I'm planning on retiring.
Yeah, okay, fine. He's only 30, by the way. Okay, brilliant. So I mean, again, so people coming in here, they've already got a certain amount of skill. I mean, they need to know a lot of this stuff already. Yeah. But if they can't build a workshop, they haven't got the money, they haven't got the space, you're here.
I'm here for them, yeah.
That's brilliant.
And even if they don't have the know-how, for example, I've got a guy coming in on Tuesday, and he walked in, he goes, I really want to make this, and he wants a replica of an exhaust of, I can't remember the bike he's working on, but it's super rare, you can't find another one. He goes, I really want to make one of these. And I was like, okay, go for it. He goes, I don't know how. I said, okay, that's fair enough, I'll help you. Obviously, I'll help them and I have to charge a little bit, but it's just fair.
But then again, that's because you probably quite fancy the challenge.
Yeah, I love doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that looks like a right pain in the arse. Come on,
Let's do it.
Yeah, but I'm fair with how I price things, as you can tell. We went through the pricing structure earlier, and then I just charge them a few quid. You buy 4 hours of my time at a time, and then if I'm working with you here for 20 minutes and I walk away to do something else, we're on pause.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and then you can come back in 3 weeks later and take me off pause.
It'd be
again.
good if lawyers operated like that.
Yeah. I don't really have much experience with those and hope to keep it that way.
Keep it that way. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Shall we talking welding?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, cool.
You're gonna
You're
help.
pretty good at it last time, so.
Well, okay. Yeah, TIG welding, I did a bit more of the MIG welding. MIG welding, I have no confidence at all.
Yeah, you'll piss it. You'll be amazed because you have to clean everything on TIG.
Yeah.
But MIG welding was just throw it on, because I started TIG welding. That's how I started welding. It was all TIG.
Oh yeah.
And I had no experience with MIG, and then the first time I was using MIG, it was on some really dirty, crappy metal. And I was like, oh, weld through everything. It was just,
that's great. Yeah.
So much fun. It was like power washer of metal.
But the problem with MIG for me is that you know, with the TIG we were talking about. There's a bit of that going on, right? Moving the rod and etc. For me, that element of MIG welding is the speed of the wire, the amps, that sort of thing. I find really difficult. And then I think I haven't got the experience to, you know, it's supposed to sound like sizzling bacon.
Yeah, crackling bacon.
Crackling
I
bacon.
get that, yeah.
And I find it very difficult to. So anyway, I mean, I need help.
Best piece of advice I can give you is shut and weld.
Shut up.
Yeah, just do it. Get stuck in.
Last time we did the TIG welding class, by the way, you told me that was a bit slow in the brain. All right, Bob, so now we're at the business end. We're in the welding lodge.
Yeah.
The welding
Weld
hotel.
shop.
The weld shop, even.
Yeah.
And actually, I know that, you know, one of the things you insist on when we were doing this is I've got to stay a distance away from you, which at first I thought it was going to be really weird for a welding lesson. But how have you managed to make that work? Is it all right?
We're just taking a sensible approach to it. Obviously, stay over there.
Yeah.
No hugging and kissing.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So it's pretty easy. When you're welding, you're sat down with the mask over your face. Obviously, all the masks are taken apart every night, and they're put through a dishwasher and rebuilt up the next day. And we just disinfect everything. All the sweatbands are all washed and taken care of.
Brilliant. And I suppose when we're welding, when you're teaching me and you're near me, we've got masks on. And
got masks on anyway. I usually sit on the other side of the table, and if you're making a mistake or if I need to point at anything, I usually do that while you're welding anyway. And I do it with a welding rod, and I usually just poke in so you can see where I'm pointing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so how you get, because I'm really shit at MIG welding, and I want to walk out of here as pretty much a genius MIG welder.
Yeah. So we're not going to be able to do that, but what I do in these classes is teach people how to improve their own skills. So I'll set you down, make sure that you're in the right hand position and you know how to approach a weld properly. 90% of the time is when people do a bad weld, they've done one of two things. They're welding in the wrong direction, or they've got their welder set wrong.
Yeah.
So we'll get you welding in the right direction every time, and know how to choose a direction and how to set up the machine.
Great. And I mean, I know this is something you believe in a lot, and I do too, is you cannot learn to do this just from a video, right?
No. I've a bit of a problem with YouTube lately, where you want to learn a really simple thing, and there's a 40-minute video on it, and I'm just very much a doer, and I just want to get in and do something straight away, and I want to pass that on to the people I'm teaching as well. So I get a lot of people that come here and they're, oh, watch the YouTube video on welding. I'm like, all right, go for it then. They can't do it. You'll never be able to do it. Yeah, but that's why I put these classes on, to give those people who want to do it a chance to do it, and do it properly.
Well, as you know, I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
All right, so I suppose, how do we start? Do I switch on the welder maybe?
Put your mask on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Sound. So if you tilt it down, is it fitting okay? Yeah, sound. And then there's a control.
Let me just check my glasses actually. It might be a bit close to my nose.
I forgot you're blind.
Fine.
Yeah, sound good. Right, and then on the left hand side there's a control. If you roll it forward, it gets brighter. If you roll it back, it gets darker. That's the shade on the inside. It won't happen now.
Oh, I see. When we're welding.
Welding,
Yeah. You don't have to make me look more stupid than I already am, right?
It's hard. You're such an easy target. We're going to tack two pieces together like this in a T shape.
Okay.
We're going to weld roughly about 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 at a time. We're going to put it down like that. I'm going to show you how to tack. Hopefully the machine's set up pretty close. We're using 1mm material today in the MIG wire.
The wire.
It's a little bit heavier, but it's nice and forgiving, and it's nice and slow moving, so it gives you lots of time to think.
Great.
So, right, I'll get 1 or 2 set up.
Yeah.
I'll do 1 or 2 welds, and you can watch what I'm doing.
Yeah. Cracking bacon.
There you go, that's the sound you're looking for.
Lovely.
So see the difference between that tack and the previous tack? So basically I had too much wire on that side and not enough amps.
I see.
So I just slightly slowed down the wire.
Sorry, so you had... Is that in the frame?
The whole thing was in the frame.
Okay. So that one was too much wire.
Yep.
So you've got more of a build-up.
Yep.
So when you reduce the wire speed,
yep,
you have less bulk.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Good job.
So we'll make a few pieces up.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with like the basics. We want to cut out all the fancy shapes and the C shapes and the E shapes and whatever else a lot of welders do or advise other people to do. Just really want to reduce it down to its core elements, which is fuse the material together and put some extra material in there for strength. So when we're going to do a start-stop motion. When we start, we're going to hold it in the same place, and we're going to move on. You're going to hear a fizzing sound and then a crackle sound when we pause. So it's going to be fizz, crackle, fizz, crackle, fizz, crackle. That's where the crackle sound that you were talking about earlier is coming from. The fizz sound is the penetration and the fusion of the two base materials, the parent materials. And the crackle sound is the adding of the filler wire, the strength there. That's the visible weld that we'll see after.
Okay.
So we give it a go, and it's all about listening.
Okay. Yeah. You're going to show me first, yeah? Something. So, 2 things I noticed there. One is you're incredibly accurate in the distance of the tip of the wire from the bead, right? And secondly, what was the other thing? It was the distance.
How smooth I am.
No, you're incredibly smooth. No, anyway, it doesn't matter for now. But so, oh yes, how much wire do you know to start with out of the nozzle?
Okay, so the general rule is keep the nozzle as close to the metal as you can, without dragging it.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to drag it because if there's ever any like spatter on it, it'll get caught up in it. It'll fuck up the weld, or the appearance of the weld. So keep your nozzle as close as you can. About a mil or 2 away from each corner.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And you want to weld. You begin. You grow the weld to the size that you want. So maybe about 8mm, but maybe 10.
Yeah.
Once it reaches that size, that's your cue to move on. Move on and push the wire down into the V to get the virgin material. Pause, grow up to the size that you want, move on again.
A bit like TIG welding and that. Then.
Yes.
So they're putting in your filler wires there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll do it again, and you'll see, you'll recognise what I just said.
And what angle of the torch do you recommend?
I'd always recommend very similar to what I recommend with TIG.
Yeah.
Always weld in the direction your gas is blowing. That's the easiest way to remember it. If you weld 90 degrees to the work,
okay.
and then just
That's
roll
what
it
I was
back a bit,
and
just so you can see. Just enough so you can see it, and that gives the best gas coverage. If that makes sense.
Great.
Yeah. Right, do a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't claim to be a MIG welder. I can do it. Was you had a lot of stick out on the wires.
Yeah.
In front of the gun. Just literally, if you pull the trigger as it is now, Yeah, now stop.
Yeah.
Now bend it over with the table. Don't pull the trigger, just bend it out of the way. Go on.
What do you mean? Like that?
Yeah, there you go. That's it, it's gone out of the way. Yeah. Now shove it in there, where it needs to be. Go on, don't be afraid of it. Yeah.
And go from there, like that?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. This is all going in the bin anyway, so you wouldn't do that on something you respected.
And keep welding?
Yeah, go for it. Very good. Yeah.
Welding the table.
Very good. No, it's okay. So
Much too big.
yeah, so you can pull your torch back a little bit.
Yeah.
So for a start, you were too far away, you weren't getting your gas coverage, and that caused the popping sound.
Ah,
Yeah. Now you're too far in, you can't see what you're doing.
right.
Yeah. So you need to just find kind of an area that's comfortable with yourself. Yeah. And if you bring your head slightly down to the left hand side and look in from the side, that will help you.
More easier.
Yeah.
Okay. I was struggling to get the fizz. I was getting plenty of bacon.
Yeah.
Enough fizz.
Yeah. So what caused that was your speed.
Too fast? Too slow?
Too slow.
Too slow.
Yeah, so waiting around a bit too long, which is better than going too fast. But what you're getting is what we call weld shadow, when you're welding on top of weld instead of virgin material.
Okay, okay.
So that step forward is when you want to come off the weld into new material that hasn't been welded before.
I see.
Right, so it's quite a big step.
Yeah, got you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, go again, absolutely.
Yeah.
Broke off if I was burning my arm. Ooh, better.
There you go.
Wow,
Starting to look like welds.
that's tasty. Nice. See?
Let me get let me zoom in from here.
So thanks so much for watching. I realized this video didn't quite have the classic ending that you might have expected, and that's because by the time we'd finished our welding lesson, Bob was suddenly flooded with people who were coming in to use the workshop, and he had to look after them, and we couldn't do an ending. But I just wanted to say that, you know, my son Lucas and I had the most amazing day. Lucas had basically come to film and then suddenly said, oh, can I have a go? And he really enjoyed it. And I think that is the sign of a really good teacher. But not just the welding lesson, but I think that what Bob has done is really cool. And just for the record, I paid for my time with him. This is not a freebie. He didn't offer me this to make this video. I did this because actually I really believe in what he's doing. And so thank you so much for sticking with me. And please, if you enjoyed it, remember to subscribe, like, dislike, comment, but engage. That's what I want the most, is to get your engagement. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully see you in the next one. Thanks so much.